Hi, studies. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Today, we'll be talking something very important, and it's about an interview Lindsey Graham's actually granted, and he was like really opening up on some certain things and saying that the Republicans are strongly behind Israel and the Jewish community and all that. And you all can see what has been unfolding like from Palestine and all that. But before we get into this video, I am going to say Congo is still bleeding. Free Congo. And I hope you all know that what is going in Congo is also atrocity. Like the G side is really heavy. And I hope really that they get help and all that. And now Lindsey Graham is actually out there saying a lot of lies, trying to say that Israel and the Jewish are trying so hard to protect themselves. And I am asking, who are you people protecting yourself from? Because I do not see anybody chasing you all. You all have been the one chasing people, and at the same time crying both that they've been chasing you and they've been doing that to you, and coming out to also open up that the Republicans are strongly behind them in like unapologetically is also an eye-opening. And now this also tells how much APAC, that is the Jewish lobby, has really given so many people checks, so much money that they have been distributing and giving a lot of people money just to be on their side. And I keep asking, why do you have to pay people money to be on your side? If you are a good person, definitely people will definitely be on your side. But this actually shows that you all are doing something horrible. You know what? Let's get into this.
Yes, a few of you have commented in the comments asking me had I seen the video of the content creators going after Cory Booker. Of course I saw it. My mission remains the same. This is what Lindsey Graham said on Meet the Press on yesterday.
Why does Israel need the most massive bombs that can potentially level an entire block in order to wage this war? Why can't it be more precise?
Listen, here's what I would say about fighting an enemy who wants to kill you and your family. Why did we drop two bombs, nuclear bombs, on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end a war that we couldn't afford to lose? You don't understand, apparently, what Israel is facing. They're facing three groups. Iran, who has received $80 billion in aid. When Trump left office, they were exporting 300 barrels of oil a day. Now they're at 1.3 million a day. They've been enriched by Biden. They're taking that money to kill all the Jews. So when we were faced with destruction as a nation after Pearl Harbor, fighting the Germans and the Japanese, we decided to end the war by bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with nuclear weapons. That was the right decision. Give Israel the bombs they need to end the war they can't afford to lose, and work with them to minimize casualties.
Senator, military officials would argue that there has been so much technology since those bombs were dropped that for that very reason, that is why Israel and other developed countries can be more precise. But let me ask it this way, because President Biden is not the first president to use arms shipments to try to influence Israeli policy. As you know, former President Ronald Reagan on multiple occasions withheld weapons to impact Israel's military actions. Did President Reagan show that using U.S. military aid as leverage can actually be an effective way to rein in and impact Israel's policy?
When you're telling the world you're going to restrict weapons delivery to the Jewish state who is fighting a three-front war for their survival, it emboldens Iran. It emboldens Hamas. Sinwar is probably juiced up on the idea there's daylight between the United States and Israel. The hostage deal is harder. This is the worst decision in the history of the U.S.-Israel relationship to deny weapons at a time the Jewish state could be destroyed. So here's what I would say. There is some hope we can get over this. Non-negotiable to the destruction of Hamas. Nobody in Israel will allow Hamas to be standing militarily or politically when this is over. How we get there is subject to negotiation. My problem is not with the weapons that Israel is using. My problem is with the tactics that Hamas is using, and the idea that America would not send a nickel of aid, echoed by a United States senator when all the Jews are trying to be killed by radical Islamic groups, tells us where we're at as a nation. The Republican Party is with Israel without apology.
Did you hear that? Let me slow it down for you.
The Republican Party is with Israel without apology.
The Republican Party, without apology, stands with Israel. That's what he said. Let's keep going because he pretty much breaks down after this.
The Republican Party is with Israel without apology.
Well, historians would say, why is it okay for Reagan to do it and not President Biden? But let me ask you about
Well,
the
why is
big
it okay?
deal.
Well, can I say this? Why is it okay for America to drop 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end their existential threat war? Why was it okay for us to do that? I thought it was okay. To Israel, do
Senator,
whatever you have to do to survive as a Jewish state.
Senator, again, military officials say
Whatever
the
you have to
technology
do.
has changed. But let me ask you about how
Yeah,
all
these
of this
military
could
officials
impact.
that you're talking
Let me-
about
Let me ask you
are
something.
full of crap.
Why does Israel?
Yeah, so while the radical left is running around, getting down in the comment sections of content creators like me who are trying to motivate and encourage people to not only vote in November, but to vote blue in order to save democracy. They're getting down in my comment sections, promoting their agenda, commenting with their watermelon emojis, commenting Genocide Joe, right? Being a distraction, going after Democrat politicians. This is what Republicans are out saying publicly. No smoke for them. Also, they're not talking about this. Republican senators sending a letter to threaten the International Criminal Court because they are looking to issue a warrant for Bibi because they consider him a war criminal. No smoke for this. No rap songs being sung saying we don't give a fuck about you to these Republican senators. Let's stay focused on saving democracy here in this country. Let's stay focused on protecting marginalized groups here in this country. Let's stay focused on keeping and maintaining our rights in this country. Because if we can do that, then we certainly can help Palestinians over in Gaza. If we lose in November, we will lose everything, including the people over in Gaza. Y'all have a fantastic Monday. I don't feel like talking anymore. People are on my fucking nerves, so y'all might not see me no more today. I'll see y'all later.
So when we were faced with destruction as a nation after Pearl Harbor, fighting the Germans and the Japanese, we decided to end the war by bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with nuclear weapons. That was the right decision. Give Israel the bombs they need to end the war they can't afford to lose, and work with them to minimize casualties. So can I say this? Why is it okay for America to drop 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end their existential threat war? Why was it okay for us to do that? I thought it was okay. To Israel, do whatever you have to do to survive as a Jewish state.
That's factually incorrect. The United States and other allies had pushed through the Pacific Islands towards Japan. We were not in direct danger. We had pushed Japan as far back as we possibly could, and Japan was on its last leg. There was literally no reason we had to drop those nukes. It was already wrong that we were dropping the nukes. On top of that, we were strategic in where we dropped those nukes. The one in Nagasaki was dropped over a hospital during the busiest part of the day when everyone was out for their morning commutes. Dropped on top of a hospital so that way there would be no medical professionals to help during the aftermath. Japan was a world power with a military, right? And they were pushed back to their home base, their home islands. The Palestinian people are quite literally civilians. So you are suggesting we give Israel nukes to kill over 1.2 million people. I don't have any faith in this country at all. Cause I want to remind you, this is the same Lindsey Graham that Mr. Ladybug. I want you to look up Lindsey Graham Ladybug. Enjoy that little search. I'm appalled. I don't even know what to say. Giving Israel nukes to bomb the Palestinian people who are at their wits' end. I can't.
So when we
were faced with destruction as a nation after Pearl Harbor, fighting the Germans and the Japanese, we decided to end the war by bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with nuclear weapons. That was the right decision. Give Israel the bombs they need to end the war they can't afford to lose, and work with them to minimize casualties. Well, can I say this? Why is it okay for America to drop 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end their existential threat war? Why was it okay for us to do that? I thought it was okay. To Israel, do whatever you have to do to survive as a Jewish state.
You might be wondering why Lindsey Graham's geriatric ass is so angry and wants to nuke everyone at this point. Let's look at where the money is coming from. And that's where you see that he's gotten over $1 million of funding throughout his whole entire career as a politician from AIPAC, which is the Israeli lobbying group. But it gets worse because the contributions for AIPAC have skyrocketed since 2018. And this year, election cycle, is actually going to be the worst in how much they have been funding candidates. This hike in the Senate contributions alone should scare everyone. Maybe Lindsey Graham speaks for a lot of politicians, not just for himself.
So this is all I got from here, and trust me, this is very scary. And Lindsey Graham, I really, sincerely speaking, I really feel so bad about what is still going on in Palestine, but then I want to say free Congo, because Congo is actually bleeding and a lot is going on in Congo. People are dying, kids are being SA and all that. I know we are trying also so hard to bring out what is going on in Palestine and how hard they've been fighting to make sure that some people are not doing okay. They wake up every day to Pe0ple and the rest of it. You can imagine how proud this man is, to the extent that he is also telling you, why won't they protect themselves? And I keep asking, who are they already protecting themselves from? Because if we all look at what has been going on, they have been the one doing the Pe0ple and doing the bomb and bin and all that, even at their own lowest. To the extent of disconnecting the measures, social amenities that human beings should never lack, not even for everything. Lindsey Graham is just another man. And this also will tell us and let us understand how far and how hard AIPAC has really been working so hard to make sure that the election is actually, because it's really going to be very tough this coming November. I mean, they are really working so hard to buy out off some candidates, and they are really progressing and doing great at it, because a lot of check has been cashed, all of them. They are all being paid by AIPAC. And sincerely speaking, I am not ready for anybody to say democracy, because I have also been saying this for a longer time. If not until everybody comes out to do the right thing, but if they decide not to do the right thing, you all will still probably end up with a very horrible government for another 4 years and all that. And democracy is not what I'm asking anybody to say, but probably to protect. Because first of all, before you start, like, I absolutely understand where Sister Tabitha is coming from. She is always, like, on point and all that. I know she's also, like, campaigning for what's his name, Joe Biden. I am not campaigning for anybody, right? But I really do want the very best for people that look like me, because I don't want to wake up every day to so many sad stories going on and the rest of it. So I am hoping that, but one is of lesser evil. We all know that. But I am not saying that man has really done super great, especially, was just watching everything unfolding in Palestine, Congo, Sudan, and some other places, and he wasn't really doing anything. Not until just now that he decided to, like, say that if you all continue to want and being like some places, I am going to not, I will, like, not send weapons to you. But why have you all been sending the weapons to them all those while? Those weapons is what they've been sending and using people's tax money to fund what has been going on there, and think it's cool. But now he's about to take a U-turn. I mean, it's not late to take a U-turn though, but I hope people do the very best for themselves this year. And I hope that all these people that they've been collecting money from APEC, I really hope that they burn their asses. They are, like, really, I hope that money they are collecting, I hope they wake up one day and not find it. Sincerely speaking, because it's really evil going out to collect money from people and coming out to lie, because what they are doing is, like, watching things go wrong and they are not saying anything. I hope you wake up one day and all the monies you've collected, especially from APEC, I hope it disappears. I definitely would love to hear it. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.